What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, we are going into more of a deep dive discussion and speculation on some of the question and answers that we got from TFW and Mark Meyer like a week ago at the time of this recording. So I picked 4 questions here that I wanted to talk about in this video. So let's get right down to the nitty gritty. So first question and answer I want to go over here is, will Liege Maximo be based on the G2 design or Covenant? And Mark answers with, boom, answered already. So I was hoping that Liege Maximo was going to be more so based off of his G2 design. Honestly, his Align Continuity look is cool. I dig the evil looking robot sort of Loki motif that he has going on. But honestly, everybody knows him from the G2 design. Everybody just thinks that's so badass and just cool looking. And like, I don't really see a lot of people genuinely preferring his Loki design over his crazy animalistic sort of muscular, overly detailed 90s comic book design, you know? It's just something that we've all been waiting for in figure form for literal decades. Well, for me, I'm a little bit on the young side, so not as long as some of you guys listening to this video. But still, it's like, man, like everybody just wants that G2 design. At least they're still going for the G2 design, but still, he seems like they're mixing the two, which I generally don't like. I don't like when they mix designs like this. I mean, sometimes it turns out good, but a lot of times I just don't think it turns out that great, and I don't really care for it, and it seems like a waste of a slot. Like, if you're going to do the character, don't do some weird mix and match. Just do the character that you want to make from that era or iteration of the character, and there's that. Like, don't try and Frankenstein the two. But it seems like they're going to do that with Liege here, which, I don't know, we're just going to have to wait and see on how that's going to turn out. His figure's going to be coming out later on this year or early next year, I think, so we're not going to be waiting too much longer to see this guy. Next Q&A here is, do you still want to do more Minicons? How will they be released if so? And Mark answers with, we are figuring it out. I will say you won't be disappointed. Rise up, Armada fans. Yeah, we have that listing of that Red Alert Minicon pack coming out in 2026 next year. So it seems like they're starting to get down with the Minicons for these characters. Even though I think that this is long overdue, we've been getting these Armada updates for, by the time we start getting more of these Minicons, it's going to be 4 years now. And, you know, time is flying by. We're not getting any younger. And the fact that we had to wait like that long to get more Minicons from these Armada characters and updates is absolutely pathetic. And the fact that we don't have any more Armada characters listed so far for this year or 2026, I mean, we do, but they're more so repaints other than Sideways. And if I'm forgetting another character, let me know. But I'm pretty sure Sideways is the only new mold on the horizon for Armada for this year and next year even, it seems like. They're not doing Cyclonus or Demolisher. They're just stringing fans along. The first figure we got was Armada Starscream in like October of 2022. We're going on 3 years now. And by the time we get more Minicons, 4 years. So I just think it's ridiculous how they're handling just finishing teams and doing different eras of Transformers. There's like a big minus in terms of doing all these different eras in 1 year for Transformers. You're taking longer to complete teams and to complete just eras that they're starting. You know, they're starting Rescue Bots, they're starting Prime, Animated, Armada, Cybertron. They're ignoring Energon and Beast Machines for some reason. Beast Wars isn't even done, and they started that 4 years ago. And from the listings we have for next year, even for 2026, the 30th anniversary of Beast Wars, we're not going to be getting a complete cast by then. And that's going to be over 5 years since they started the Beast Wars updates. it just feels like they're all over the place to the point where there's no focus in terms of completing teams. And that's ridiculous to me. Like with Transformers and Marvel Legends too, if you guys aren't completing teams with these toy lines, it seems like you're not doing a good enough job in character selection. Because like Transformers, it's such a franchise based off of teams. You know, there's different factions. That's where these characters come from: Autobots, Decepticons, Maximals, Predacons, Combiners, all this sort of stuff. And you know, they're generally good with completing Combiners. You get them done within like a year of each other. But when it comes to actual faction teams from a cartoon, you're stringing fans along for literally years upon years. I don't want to be waiting over half a decade or almost basically a decade to complete my Beast Wars cast or my Armada cast or my Cybertron cast. I don't want to be waiting until 2030 for them to start Energon because they've done all the G1 Optimus Primes and G1 Megatrons they could squeeze their little hearts out with in the lines, you know? It's just not something I think is right for them to do. But, you know, with these Minicons, it is what it is. They should have just released with the characters. It's the whole point of what Armada is. And I feel like they kind of neglected that, but they did what they did, and now you have to wait till next year to get some more Minicons. Next Q&A here is, are you interested in doing the made-to-order program for TFs like you're doing for Marvel? And Mark answers with an astounding, yeah! Exclamation mark. So this is a great answer. I do like that they're open to doing made-to-order for Transformers. It was rumored that Big Convoy was going to be getting the made-to-order treatment at some point, but that was obviously either false info or is outdated info because he's going to be a leader class, which I don't agree with. He should have been a commander. There's a lot of characters in Transformers they could do from made-to-order. I feel like they could get a lot of stuff done if they do a made-to-order release every year. Like, just do one a year, and you're knocking down characters off of people's lists. It's that easy to me. I mean, you could do Thunderwing as a made-to-order. You could do some bigger Beast Wars characters, whether it's from the cartoon or the animes. You know, there's so many different possibilities on this stuff with Transformers especially. I feel like it's more apparent than any other brand that Hasbro is doing these collector lines for. That in Marvel, I'd say. So hopefully they start tapping into this sooner rather than later. Hopefully we get our first made-to-orders at some point this year, maybe next year at the latest. But it seems like they're open to it, which I really do like. And the last ultimate Q&A here that I wanted to discuss in this video, this is one that for me personally and on this channel, y'all know me, I'm going crazy for. So the question is, would TRANSTECH or Reactivate be things you'd be interested in doing as concept art figs? And Mark answers with yes. Anything you think is cool, you know I'm right there with you. So TRANSTECH, another question that he basically is saying yeah to. We've been hearing TRANSTECH come up and them saying yes to the last like year, 2-3 years now. I remember covering on the channel. They've been talking about doing TRANSTECH and Studio Series for a little while now, so I feel like it's a matter of when and not if at this point, because they were teasing that comic subline for years, and now we're finally getting it in 2027. So I really do feel like we're going to be getting TRANSTECH, maybe at 2028 or 2029 for Studio Series, because it seems like that's like the mainstay toy line for Transformers at this point. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere because of the high sales and just people loving Studio Series as a whole. It seems like it's going to be the Marvel Legends or the Star Wars Black Series for Transformers going forward, which I really do feel like the brand needs that recognized collector line that every other franchise has at this point, except for Transformers, because every couple of years they have to change it for whatever reason. I don't know the exact reason, but yeah, hopefully that's the case. And with TRANSTECH, there's so much they could delve into, from the Fun Pub comics to the lore from the canceled cartoon itself, all these different character designs, like give me Cheetor, Give me Optimus. Give me a Mordicon, Starscream, Megatron, Black Arachnia, Silverbolt. All of the ones that are public and not public, just give them to me. And they could even do original designs. Now, y'all know how I feel about stuff similar to that. I feel like it's a bit of a waste of a slot for characters that actually are already established in Transformers and that need it more. But, hear me out here. TRANSTECH, I'll let TRANSTECH slide a little bit because the aesthetic TRANSTECH has is absolutely insane and just so out of this world and different that I wouldn't mind seeing other designs for characters that aren't actually meant for the cartoon. But yeah, guys, those are the question and answers I wanted to go over in today's video. Let me know down in the comments below, how do y'all feel about these answers Mark gave here. And yeah, thank y'all for watching this video. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.